let us begin that selection of films by talking about Terminator Dark Fate. Who's been blessed with this one? Greg,
that would be me. Is it blessed? Ooh, let's wait and see. I'm one of those sad people who don't want to give up on the Terminator, despite the bizarre best efforts of every movie since T2 to torpedo the franchise entirely. I skipped Salvation altogether, and I checked out halfway through Genesis because everything and everyone about it annoyed me so much my skin itched. And I just can't understand the need for the stakeholders of this franchise to feel the need to reboot it every 5 minutes. So it was. I dared to hope that there was hope when Dark Fate was announced. What with James Cameron back on board, albeit in a wishy-washy producer capacity, but apparently with the backing of Linda Hamilton and in the capable enough hands of Tim Miller. If, as promised, this movie was going to remove from canon everything since T2 and pick up where that movie left off, I would, at the very least, give it a fair hearing and 2 hours or so of my time. Now, if you haven't already seen the movie and are concerned about spoilers, then skip ahead 10 minutes or use the chapter markers, because Scott's good like that when he does the edit. Right, are you gone? Yeah. Okay, so if you have seen it, then I'm going to assume you agree with the overwhelming weight of public opinion that this is the third best movie in the franchise, and also that it remains completely unnecessary. I suspect I was not alone in correctly guessing how Dark Fate would open, what with Edward Furlong dropping enough clues, and I was genuinely excited to find out I was correct. It's a bold reinvention indeed for a Terminator movie to cold open on a teenage John Connor getting a point-blank chest full of double-aught buckshot as Sarah looks helplessly on, and I was immediately on board for whatever this exciting divergence from the norm would deliver. After all, this was clearly not going to be another rehash of the exact same plot of machines from the future hunting down the eventual human leader of a post-apocalyptic resistance. It may well be that I take to the grave the sense of absolute dismay this movie left me in, the sheer bewilderment at why the key original cast and the man who invented the thing would sign back up and sweep the deck just to deliver the exact same movie again. Does Jim Cameron need the money for a new submarine or something? And listen, there is some stuff I do like in here, and at least one aspect of the story that I think might have been an amazing opportunity to genuinely deliver something different. To wit, for example, there is pretty good value to be had in a movie this high profile, setting a key scene at a US-Mexico border concentration camp. But when you fail to capitalise on that with any kind of commentary or analysis whatsoever, guess what you end up with? Just another location. I also like Mackenzie Davis quite a bit, though here she's really wasting her time in delivering lines with an energy her most significant co-star, Linda, just give me the damn bottle Hamilton, can really be bothered to match. And did you notice that Natalia Reyes, who plays Danny Ramos, the new Terminator's target, didn't get my co-star billing there? That's because there are huge swathes of the movie where we kind of forget she's even a thing, and then we're expected to drop our jaws at the most signposted revelation regarding her character in the latter stages of the movie, by which point I can promise you will not care. Here's my pitch for how this could have been a better movie and made a profit by turning in at $60 million, a third of the actual budget. Get rid of that daft explodey plane sequence, have a nice set piece at the start and a nice set piece at the end, and in between, let me spend an hour with Arnie in his cabin in the woods learning about his journey since smoking John Connor, because in the 5 minutes expended on that particular plot development, it is abundantly clear that it is the movie's single interesting idea. Arnie even does a decent job of hitting some emotional beats, albeit robotically so, obviously, and I actually think he probably could have sustained that. I've no idea what people's salaries were, but if they were that interested in coming back for, quote, the right material, then my idea would see them happily taking a back-end deal. Of course, it couldn't have happened because anyone who says the radical script the radical script attracted them to this movie didn't read the script. So there's a non-time travel paradox for you to chew on. So, frustrating it is then, and that's before we delve into the lip service paid to gender equality by swapping in an almost exclusively female cast into a franchise that was already driven by a powerful female lead. Oops. And that's the short version of a slightly bigger screed that I wrote some weeks ago, where I outlined my plans to remake Terminator Dark Fate in my own mould and deliver a profit. There you go, $180 million I think, and it's made $260 million back, so we won't be seeing another of these because I suspect that profit doesn't even cover the marketing budget for it.
Yeah.
Possibly, but I would have said the same after Genesis.
Well,
this just seems to be an idea that will not die. Terminators are a thing that people remember, so this will be recycled forever. The same film, again and again and again and again, going looping through time, doing the same thing marginally differently until we all die. And it cannot be stopped until we are all dead. This was certainly a film that I watched. I realised about half an hour in, when the new not Skynet Terminator shows up, Legion, same thing, different brand name. When it showed up and did the whole kind of metal flesh thing, and then the metal flesh jumped out and became a separate thing from the robot body, I kind of went, oh, I understand now. You're a stupid film.
Yeah.
I will now pay you the level of attention I think you deserve. And more or less the rest of it kind of washed over me. Like I say, Arnie's the only vaguely interesting thing in it, and the rest of it is just there.
Yeah.
I would honestly sit and watch a 90-minute movie where it is just him and Linda Hamilton and a couple of the others talking about his journey in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, this I have watched, because I'm weird like this, decided that I would watch all of the Terminator films again before I saw this.
Oh, why?
Well, there's two good ones. So,
well, what I have discovered on having watched them all again is that I am nothing like as salty as I was about Genesis or Salvation. They're mostly just boring. Genesis, Salvation in particular, Salvation is a incredibly mediocre film rather than an outright bad one. Genesis, I think maybe because I knew I was expecting this time, I just didn't have the same level of ire. But I've discovered this isn't in fact the fourth best film in this series, not the third, because Rise of the Machines is still better than this by a margin.
Yeah?
Yeah, I always thought Rise of the Machines was okay. The biggest problem with Rise of the Machines always was Nick Stahl.
Yeah.
It just didn't fit the role of John Connor at all. And everything else was about it was decent enough. It was a entirely serviceable film. It still is, actually.
I'll need to watch it again.
Yeah, it's reaffirmed my feeling that I do prefer Terminator 2 to Terminator, which we talked about not that long ago, I think, maybe our Tech Noir episode.
Yep.
Oh God, that is actually a while ago now. But yeah, third one, apart from that, it's the best. Then this, but this is a long way off of that. I had actually managed to, thanks to my large media blackout, which is I don't care about anything, I never read stuff like things about film stuff anymore, or the news, in fact, I just don't care about anything until I watch it. I managed to know nothing about any of the stuff that you were hinting at, Craig, that Edward Furlong would be hitting. It's like, I had no idea Edward Furlong was in this film. In fact, I wasn't even entirely certain Arnie was. So I had paid so little attention to it, I didn't care. I was like, I'll wait till it comes out and I'll watch it. But what I had caught was that it was meant to be like wiping everything, saying that everything after Terminator 2 didn't count. But that isn't even the first time that's been done, because Genesis wipes out everything after Terminator 2. Or possibly even after Terminator, because Salvation and follows on from 3, which follows on from 2. So they're not even original with that idea. And then this film starts, and Mackenzie Davis turns up. Well, in body, because she's terrible. She's truly, truly awful. And I'm like, well, I assume she's a Terminator then, because, oh no, she's not, she's just rubbish, right? Okay.
She's acting in the wrong movie, because she's the only, I think she sticks out like a sore thumb because she's the only one investing emotion in it, and I think she's sort of like turned up 2 notches above anyone else.
I'm pretty sure I'd say 2 notches below, because I did not get emotion from her at all, unless possibly it was just ennui, but no. I just didn't care for it at all. There's a point near the start of the film where Linda Hamilton's talking to her, and I think the discussion's around about some like being this great leader of or teaching John Connor and stuff, and then she says, why do I have this strong urge to like basically beat the crap out of you? And I'm like, that's weird, because it's definitely not Sarah Connor's the character I'm feeling that about. It's like I just did not care for her character at all. And then that revelation, Craig, it's like, well, yeah, not only is it really, really obvious, because they're very careful to not say names or genders or anything. It's like, yeah, also, I can count, you said Grace has come back from a future which is only 23 years away.
Yeah.
She's not going to have had time to have had a child who then became a leader of humans somehow. Obviously, it's her. Basic arithmetic tells me that, let alone shoddy storytelling. And Natalia Reyes herself, the Colombian actress, well, she's kind of likeable enough, I guess, in her kind of Sarah Connor from the Terminator role. But in the few scenes where you're shown she's meant to be an inspiring leader, I was like, not buying that at all.
Flat on its arse.
Yeah, the other films where you see John Connor, until it becomes Christian Bale, and to be fair, it's not one of Christian Bale's best performances, but until it's Christian Bale, basically adult John Connor as leader of resistance doesn't talk.
Yeah.
You get told about him, he doesn't do anything himself. Like, that turned out to be quite a good idea.
He just has a 1,000-yard stare and occasionally turns his head so you can see how badly scarred his face is in the atmospheric lighting. Yeah,
it's like the John Connor as he's growing up, so Edward Furlong in particular, because again, Nick Stahl was just so badly cast in Terminator 3. But that scene in the future when she's trying to inspire people, I was like, nah.
No, that was the worst part of the movie in my book.
It's up there.
Yeah, and the second worst part being Linda Hamilton's delivery of the line, "You're John."
Her delivery of the line, "I'll be back," was also pretty poor.
Actually, we should just agree that the delivery of most lines in this film are pretty poor.
Yeah.
I love that we're expected to believe that Linda Hamilton was really invested in coming back because of the story elements, which is patently not true, and so we can only assume that it's because she needed to restock her drinks cabinet.
I was actually quite enjoying Linda Hamilton in this though, because she was like badass and like.
Well, here's the thing, Drew. There's points where she's lucid. But then it's like 10% of the time, and the rest of the time it's so obvious you just can't be bothered.
Yeah, it's a pity too, because there are hints that you got to remember too that in Terminator 2, Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor is set up as someone who's basically willing to be a Terminator.
Yeah.
Was willing to murder someone and their children so that the future wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? And she only didn't do it. I mean, she breaks down afterwards, but she only didn't do it because a wee robot, a radio-controlled car bumped into Miles Dyson's ankle. So, there are hints of that badass, morally corrupt Sarah Connor in there. It's really interesting. And then, for the most part, as you say, she's sloshed.
She was always the best thing about the movies, and it's really sad to see her in this in terms of where she's at now, because she's a shadow of her former self.
Yeah, I mean, she was a character comparable to Ripley from Aliens, right? Except that Sigourney Weaver managed to maintain that through the other films for the most part.
Yeah.
Whereas, Linda Hamilton, no.
I wish I could remember what the article was I read recently, and it was talking through the production, and it had sound bites from Hamilton and the rest of it. I can't remember if it would have been on like Wired or something. I can't think. It would have been one of the online sites. And Linda Hamilton had the temerity to say that she got really upset and she was like crying on set because that opening scene where they'd done the face replacement stuff and everything. Mm-hmm. Which alternates between being really good for her and like shockingly bad for John.
It's really bad for Arnie as well, because it looks like a lookalike. It doesn't look like Arnie.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that was him for a little while.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's it.
It's meant to be another T-800 because it didn't look like him at all. It was like meant to look like him, but not him.
And when he walks away down the beach, if you look at the back of his arms when he walks into the sunlight, he's got like some crazy, like really bad cellulite thing going on his arms or something. There's like his arms are like really weird and distorted in a way that Arnie's never wear. But that first shot of Linda, the younger Linda Hamilton's face, I'm like, oh, that's pretty seamless actually. This will be good. And then it immediately cuts to like the most bunk cartoony shot of John Connor imaginable. But she'd had the temerity to suggest that in that scene she'd got really upset because the female body double who was portraying her in that scene, when she jumps up to attack the Terminator, she was really upset. And if you watch it, you can see it's like nothing like the way Linda Hamilton would have handled a firearm, like in the way she would move. But then I think you've got to be pretty far up your own backside to get that upset about a body double's work in a single scene at the start of a movie like that, if you are just going to phone in the entire rest of your performance and walk away with presumably, a conservative estimate, like 100,000 times the pay packet of that of that individual.
The rest of the film shows her handling massive weaponry.
Yes.
Why do you care what she did with a pistol at the start of the film?
Exactly.
It's irrelevant because that's not the point of that scene.
It's certainly not the biggest point of the movie. Never mind that scene. Yes, exactly.
She's so blindsided by that. So yeah, it's fine. So I basically had no interest in this film at all up until the point I saw the back of Arnie's head. I thought, that's the back of Arnie's head. He is in this. Great. I wasn't sure. And I say, you're right, Craig. That is by far the most interesting part. It's like, yeah, I must admit, part of that part of my brain was thinking, yes, but Skynet sends the Terminators out with their chip set to read only. That was an important plot point of Terminator 2.
Yeah.
How is this? But then I thought, shh, Arnie's in it, that'll do.
Yeah, you're thinking too much. Clearly no one else was.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem. It's like, I should have been doing it for them because somebody needed to. The idea was like, well, what's the journey he's been on? Like, and maybe if you'd even had a montage of him finding out that these Terminators were coming and seeing Sarah Connor take them down or something, that would have been interesting.
Yeah. Or just a film about he quietly in the background was aiding her in that. Do you know what I mean? Unseen. And he's got the single best line in the entire movie, and it's really a quietly devastating thing in a lot of respects, where he says about, I think Sarah Connor asks him something about, his sort of surrogate family, do you love them? And he says, well, not in the way that a human can. And at first I thought it's an advantage, and then he pauses and said, but it's not.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my God, there's a whole film there, man.
Yeah, the bit is like I told them that it's not safe with you here. The day I always warned them out would come. It's come, and then it just went like, and with so little emotion from his family, it's like they're clearly upset, but they're not. They're just like, he's clearly prepared the milk because they go without any fuss or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to see the backstory to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because basically anything that doesn't have grace in it would be quite good.
Yeah, it's really disappointing because there are some great ideas there, and they're given 5 minutes of attention. But
and Arnie is by far the best pen. It's not. I thought even he was a bit flat in points too. But again, if he's not being given anything to act against too, he's not the greatest actor. But he's got like about 11 billion times more charisma in that off day than anybody else in this film has.
You know, and I don't imagine he'll be back for another one at this point. I can't see it happening. Right?
I can't see another one happening at all. But
if they were going to do that, please stop feeling the need. It's not. There's no comic value anymore in just having him deliver a patently absurd line because it's ha ha ha, it's Arnie, the emotionless robot, but now he tells jokes. And you've got the scene about, I told him, don't do it, it's a girl's bedroom. You need butterflies, balloons. And we're supposed to laugh because he's talking about butterflies and balloons on a drape. And it's like, no, I don't need that. It's like in Genesis where he pulls the stupid face,
Yeah, see, I did laugh at that, but at the same time thinking, partly because I was so bored by the rest of it, but I'm thinking, I was so aware of it being so out of place. There are definitely bits of humour. And then Terminator 2 does it quite well. It's because like John's trying to teach him, and there's wee bits of him like trying to smile and stuff. I think that's just in the extended cut.
Yeah,
but that's just comedy.
And when he picks up the baby by the dungarees and he's just like he's dangling there, staring at it and stuff. There's
humour in the probably the first three. There's bits of humour, but after that, Salvation's incredibly po-faced. So there's nothing in that. But,
no. Isn't it Terminator? I know you're saying you like Terminator 3, but isn't it Terminator 3 where he puts on like the Elton John star sunglasses or something ridiculous like that?
Yes,
stuff like that. It's like, oh, come on.
Actually, talking about Dark Fate though, by going to comedy also, could have done without the wee calls back to other films, like to better films, like the music they play when that guy's barbecuing in his back garden is the music that plays in Terminator 2, and the bar where he gets the clothes, the boots, and the motorcycle.
All right, okay.
Go away.
Yeah.
It's like
you're just rubbing it in our faces. You're just reminding us of a better movie at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I thought because when I'd heard as much as I'd heard about it, it was like James Cameron's back involved, and it was going to be like resetting stuff, and that's great because we can forget Genesis. It's appalling. I don't feel quite so strongly now, but it's not good. And they've spurned that opportunity. And I'm now, while it got to the end of the film, and I was remembering that there were stories a while ago that James Cameron had been going to do an Aliens 5 with Arnie, I think. And I'm quite glad that didn't happen, because it could have just been this again.
Yeah.
In the Aliens universe, it's not good, I think.
The other thing, and I thought, Scott, you were going to touch on this when you were saying about, you kind of did touch on it when you were saying before, this is a daft film. So what are the other thing they need to ditch with these movies, again, in the very unlikely circumstance they move forward, is we don't need constant pointless revisions to the Terminator. What benefit is there to the endoskeleton part of this Terminator?
Exactly.
Other than to be seen in public as a robot.
The only interesting...
It's a tech demo, Chris. That's all it's there for.
Anything from the second movie on has been totally... One would have to assume that this relentless AI would also have some sort of understanding of efficiency of design and purpose, right? And there's nothing... There's no justification whatsoever for having this thing that is basically an amalgam of the two, where you have a liquid one existing over the top of a traditional one. It's just pointless. Yeah, absolutely pointless. And there was another thing that I was going to say that was...
Yeah, well, it's suggesting it's somehow like more of a threat. Well, could you not just have two of them?
Yeah, exactly.
Is this different?
Yeah, or just the one of them seemed to be coping on his own.
Yeah,
for the most part, at least. What was the other thing I was going to say? I can't remember now. It's gone out of my head because I'm starting to get angry again. I'm just frustrated because I really want this to be a good film, and it could have been.
Yeah, also, I get that. I'm thinking about like the idea how much more interesting the backstory is of like his journey, but like. How is Linda Hamilton, as wanted felon, able to call up somebody at a US Air Force installation?
Oh, God, yes.
And get specialist experimental tech with no questions asked?
Exactly.
How? I want to know that story.
Yeah,
that's interesting because nothing in this film is.
No, I know that was another thing that stuck out like a sore thumb. Listen, Sarah, don't ever ask me for this again because I might get my bum spanked if someone catches me with this. It makes it's just baffling, and then to have that discarded as a plot point, and someone turn around and go, "Hey, I forgot, I've got one of those built into me anyway," as if that wouldn't be a contingency plan of you being sent back anyway. Listen, the worst case scenario is you've got this thing in you that will f*** him up, so use that. But it's not. It's like this. It's this Deus Ex at the end of the movie. It's just like, oh God, guys, don't worry about it. I forgot. I've got the thing that kills Terminators with me the whole time. Oh, my days.
So what we're saying is 8 out of 10?
Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. Anyway, that's enough about that.